everyone, welcome back. Today I have a review on a brand new product on the market. It is by Urban Decay and it is part of the Spring 2015 line. So it's a new addition to the Naked Skin line within Urban Decay. It is the Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, and the actual bottle looks like this. I think the packaging is beautiful, even down to the box. Urban Decay, though, always does a really nice job with their packaging. I feel like they always go the extra mile. The applicator is this nice flat doe foot wand. It's flat on either side, so you can really get underneath and in any areas nicely. It picks up a generous amount of product so you don't have to dip in. The size is 5 milliliters or 0.16 fluid ounces, so it is actually a little bit smaller than, let's say, the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, which is 9 milliliters, 0.30 fluid ounces. And this retails for $28 in the US or $34 in Canada, so it's definitely a more pricey concealer. I would say the coverage is more of a sheer to medium coverage. You can build it up to a fuller coverage. I would not say full coverage concealer, and I would more so use this for highlighting versus covering up blemishes, just because it has a demi matte finish. So it's not going to be matte and it's not going to be luminous. It's more of a satin finish. So I feel like since it is light reflecting, it could emphasize any blemishes on the skin. So I mean, I know personally I don't want to highlight my blemishes, but if it works for you to cover them up, then that's cool. This is just my opinion on it. So let's go ahead and read the box. It says it's a liquid concealer like no other, covers imperfections without looking covered up. Our weightless high-tech formula provides buildable, even coverage with an invisible naked skin feel, and it never settles into fine lines. One thing I'm going to say is when I applied it, it settled immediately into my fine lines. I have a lot of little lines underneath my eyes, and I also have these little bumps. That is genetic. It will never go away. My mom has it, and she actually got them removed, I think twice. So I believe there are little keratin pockets. I can't help it, but I was definitely emphasizing those. So I immediately set it with my MAC Emphasized Shaping Powder, which I always set my under eyes with. So hopefully it doesn't crease with that as well. The consistency was very creamy, which I was quite pleased with. It was very, very easy to blend, and I was expecting it to be liquidy. I'm not sure why. I think the whole naked skin thing kind of threw me off, but it was a very, very nice creamy consistency, very easy to blend. It does run very light. There's only 8 shades within the line, so I hope they kind of expand that so it appeals to a larger demographic. I also am going to do a demo so you can kind of see the wear time. I'm going to check back in with you guys just so you can see how it's looking. I applied one side with my Sigma Tapered Kabuki, and this is the F86, and just kind of tapped it out. And then the other side I did with my Damp Beauty Blender, which is usually my favorite method to apply my concealer. The claims for this concealer is lightweight, can keep building up no matter how much you apply, and it's not going to look cakey. It's always going to blend, never settles into fine lines or wrinkles. And the benefits of this concealer are anti-wrinkle peptides to help improve skin's youthfulness and elasticity. It contains green tea to revitalize and reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. And it also has Lichiderm. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it contains Lichiderm, which protects against dehydration, promotes brighter, more radiant skin. It contains properties as well that help skin attract and retain moisture. A lot of people might not know that the under eye area is actually very dry. Even if you might be oily elsewhere, usually the under eye area can get dehydrated very easily, especially mine. So I was happy to see that it contained properties to kind of keep the hydration in there. So if you want to see how I enjoyed this concealer, then please keep watching and check out my demo. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. It is at lesleydoesmakeup, and also Makeup Social app as well. I would love to chat with you on there. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you like reviews, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. If you want to see anything that I'm wearing on my face, I will list that in the bottom bar. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! Mwah. Okay, so the time is now 2:17. So I had kind of a late start. Let's get started. I am going to do half of my concealer, blending it out with my Sigma F86 tapered kabuki and just kind of tap it out. Then I am going to do the other half with my beauty blender and see how that works. This is my favorite way to apply my concealer. I just think it looks almost airbrush. It blends it out beautifully, picks up any excess product so it's not gonna look cakey under the eyes. So I'm gonna put it to the test and see which one I prefer better, if it works good both ways. And to set that, I'm gonna use my usual MAC Emphasize Shaping Powder. I always set my concealer just because my eyes, they crease no matter what I use. It can be a crease-proof concealer and it's still gonna crease on me, especially if I don't use a powder. So it's going to be put to the real test. So let's get started. I'm excited, I've never used this and it's been sitting. I've had it for a little bit. So that is what the applicator looks like. It is kind of like a doe foot, except for it's flat on either side. And that is so you can really kind of get the most of your product. So let's see. I'm just going to kind of swipe it. Okay. So it seems to be a very nice consistency and texture. And I really like this applicator. The applicator, it has a good amount of product on it. Like I didn't have to re-dip and there's still kind of plenty on either side to do my whole face. So first I'm just going to take my ring finger and kind of pat it up, and excuse the nail. I think I've already addressed that. And by ring finger I mean my middle finger, so I kind of messed that one up. I don't know why. Is anyone else like that? I just like to blend out with my middle finger. I know it's not as easy as the ring finger on your eye area, but it just feels better. So it's blending out really nicely and it's a very silky consistency. It's also a demi-matte finish, so it's more of a satin. It's not matte and it's not too luminous either. So I really like the finish. Okay, so I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and just kind of work. Okay, so I really like how this is blending out. It looks very flawless and the coverage is actually pretty good with just one coat. And I was reading kind of online and it said that the more coats you do, it's not gonna look cakey and you can definitely build it up to a full coverage. That's kind of where the complete comes in, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and just blend out these other areas with my beauty blender as well. But I'll save this side for the brush. Okay, so I lied. It's a more natural coverage with one layer. I'm gonna try with two, but first I'm gonna blend out this other side. So I'm just kind of pressing the product in. It actually blends out nicer with the brush, which I'm surprised because normally my go-to is my beauty blender and I've never had a problem with it not blending out the way I like it. So that's kind of different for me. I actually prefer the brush. Okay, so that is one layer. And I like the side with the Sigma F86 better. Looks a little bit more smooth and more coverage. And it didn't, let me zoom you in, it didn't settle into my fine lines underneath my eyes as easily. So this side is the Beauty Blender and this side is my Sigma F86. So I'm going to go in and try another layer. So same thing, I'm just going to do under my eyes with another layer. So the coverage definitely built up a little bit more. Okay, so I like the way it looks with 2 applications. I'm gonna go and blend out this side with my brush again. So I definitely prefer the side with the brush still. And the coverage is pretty good. I think it's definitely brightening, and I think it doesn't dry too matte, so it doesn't make my under eyes look dry. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my MAC shaping powder. And okay, so it's already started to crease, so I'm gonna go ahead and set both sides with my powder, because this Beauty Blender side, in fact, it's creasing up a lot, and I mean, I can only assume that it's going to get worse. So I mean, on its own, I'm gonna say it right now, it's definitely not crease proof. It does crease. So we're gonna see if it creases without, or with powder as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that. Okay, so here is how the concealer looks with 2 layers and set with a powder. This side being Beauty Blender and this side being the brush. So if you want to take a look, so that's kind of how it looks. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will check back with you in a little while and kind of show you how it wears. So I will see you soon. Bye. It is 5:46 in the evening, and it's been on for about 3.5 hours now. So far, I really like it. I think it is a very beautiful concealer, especially for the under eye area. I still think that it is more of a highlighting concealer. I think if I were to wear it again, what I would do is do my Pro Longwear and do like a little bit of the Naked Skin underneath, almost like in place of like MAC Prep and Prime Light Boost or the highlighting pens. I think it's more of that type of concealer versus an actual like coverage under eye concealer. It definitely reflects light really nicely. It doesn't look dry, it doesn't feel dry, it looks very, very hydrated skin. So far I'm really liking it. I still prefer the Sigma F86 side versus the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender, it hasn't moved, it hasn't creased anymore with the powder, but it still looks a little bit off from when I first applied it. So I will check back with you when I am about to remove all of my makeup to give you the final verdict, and I will see you soon. I'm back. It is 9:32 at night, and I'm getting ready to wash off all of my makeup. If you are wondering why my eyes are so red, it's because I was just editing a video with my contacts in, and that's a big mistake. I should have put my glasses on, but what can you do? Overall, I think the concealer held up really well. My only concern with it is it's very, very light reflecting. As you can see, I'm super shiny right here and right here, which I'm not normally this shiny. I mean, I like a good highlight, but I prefer it definitely more on my cheekbones. It didn't settle or crease into any of my fine lines, which is nice. And if you are going to use this concealer, I would recommend definitely setting it with a powder. If you have super dark circles, I'm not sure how well it would cover those up. I think it's more of a highlighting concealer still. So overall, it's pretty good. I don't think it is worth the money. I think there are better options out there like MAC Pro Longwear for a cheaper price, but that is my own personal opinion. Let me just zoom in on a close-up so you can see how it looks. So it's about the same. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more reviews, give the video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below what kind of video you'd like to see next. I will be checking that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!